Hi guys, welcome to today's class. So today we're going to be learning how to cut our shorts, and things you need: your ruler, your scissors, your fabric, your tape, and your marker, then your pattern paper. Stay tuned to the last and please subscribe. Here's the measurements we're going to be using: your hip, waist, length, and your tie. So to get started, we're going to place our tape and we measure 1 inch at the top part of our margin. This is so that when we are placing our other measurements, we're going to get a straight line. Okay, when you place that 1 inch, even on the other side of the paper, just look at what I'm doing and also do it. Okay, follow the process I'm doing. Mark 1 inch on the two sides of your paper, and of course rule your line, because that is where we're going to be taking our measurements from. So it's going to be straight. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and comment, share with your friends. Stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. In this tutorial, you will learn how to make a perfect pant for a plus size. Yeah, so from that margin line, I'm going to be placing my the length of my short, and then I'll add 2 inches allowance to it. That's what I'm doing. And then when I'm done, I'll rule a straight line across. Okay, so if you're with me, follow through the process. It's very easy, trust me guys, very easy. Now you see I'm rolling out that part so that you will know we're not taking any measurements from that side. That's why I'm crossing it out. Okay, the reason why we had that border line or margin line is so that our measurements are going to be straight. Now I'm going to be placing to get my crotch line. Okay, and to get that, I'll divide my hip divided by 20. Okay, now whatever measurement you get, place it all across and rule your line just like I'm doing. See what I'm doing? Okay, what I'm placing there is my hip divided by 20. The measurement I got is what I'm placing. Okay, if your hip is 30 divided by 20, place your measurement and rule it across. That will enable you get a perfect crotch extension. Yeah, so you can see I'm already doing that. You can see how perfect my own line is. So make sure yours is like that so you don't have a rigorous line. Okay, now from this I'm going to mark my crotch depth, and to get my crotch depth I'm going to be doing hip divided by 4, and whatever measurement I get, I'll place it just there. That's what I did there, hip divided by 4, and that's the measurement I placed right there. That measurement will enable me get a perfect curve for my crotch. Okay, so I'm going to mark that to at the other end, and of course connect it together right there. All right, so guys, we're moving over to the waist area now. This part is our waist, and we're going to be placing our hip measurement. You place your hip divided by 4. Okay, her hip divided by 4 is 12, so that's what I'm placing right now. I'm going to place it all across, and I'm going to join it. So if your hip is 30, if your hip is 33, if your hip is 34, 35, 36, divided by 4, and place your measurement just like I've placed mine, and then roll a straight line across. Now we're going to also align that crotch line. Okay, so I'm still reflecting the measurement we had at that initial point, so I'm just going to connect it. So I'm still connecting back the 12 inches, and then I'll roll it so it's going to be a straight line. Remember, this is a pant. We don't need anything that is going to make our line not straight. If not, it will affect the sitting position of our pants on our body. I'm just labeling it, so go ahead and label yours as well. So after we've gotten that now, because that's where we're going to place that's where our crotch line, our tie measurement is going to be. That's where our tie measurement is going to be. Okay, so now we're going to do our crotch curve. Okay, and to get your crotch curve, just look at what I'm doing. You see where I'm placing my tape? Take 1 inch at that point. Okay, and then connect it all the way down. Okay, I'm going to explain again. Take 1 inch. Okay, 1 inch right there, then take 2 inches up there, okay, then connect from the 2 inches to the 1 inch, from the 1 inch all the way down. That's how to get a perfect crotch curve. Now we're going to go to the lower part and we'll take 1 inch and connect it. I'm doing my pants to be free, so I'm not going to really use a tight tie, okay. It's going to be free at the tie area, not too tight, just free, loose. So that's why I'm not using exactly a fitted measurement there, okay. Now over to our waist, I'm going to place my waist measurement. I'm not using that, but if you're going to use your dart, please add your dart measurement, okay. Your waist divided by 4 plus your dart, place it. Then from that place, mark your hip depth. For hers is 9 inches. For some people it could be 8, it could be 7. Now connect it from that waist measurement and you have a perfect curve, okay. From there you can see our pant is getting ready, okay. So now there's something I'm going to let you know. If you're making for someone who doesn't have tummy, okay, see where I'm marking 1 inch, mark 1 inch and connect it to your crotch curve, okay. I'm not going to be cutting through that line because my client has a big tummy, okay. But if your client has a flat tummy, please mark that 1 inch and come out at that hip area and mark another 1 inch and connect it, because you have to replace that 1 inch back. Do you understand? But my client has a big tummy, so I'm not going to be following the new line. I'm just showing you that as an illustration if you're making for someone with flat tummy. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut this out. See what I'm cutting. I'm cutting the first line. I didn't cut the second one because my client doesn't have a flat tummy. Now when you're cutting your hem part, your seam allowance part, please fold in. Look at what I'm doing. I'm folding it in. Fold it in, okay. I totally forgot to fold mine in, and so there's a shortage. I'll show you. You can see the shortage right there. So fold in before cutting so that when you cut it you get a perfect shape. I'm going to be reflecting that back when I'm cutting it on my fabric, okay. I'm going to correct that on my fabric, but please do it right when cutting yours. Now we're over to the back. Let's cut our back and make it perfect. Now for the back, at the crotch part I left 3.5, but for a slim person, please 3 inches is okay. Then for the upper part I left 3 inches. For a slim person, 2 inches is okay. All right, now that 3.5, I'm going to be marking it all the way down. See what I'm doing? I'll mark it all the way down. But if you are doing it for the slim person and you use 3 inches, please use that 3 inches all the way down. You can see what I'm doing. If it was 3 inches, I'll still take it all the way down, but this is 3.5 and I'm using 3.5, and I'm going to go ahead and connect that, so you will see our pant is getting just ready. I can't wait to see the fitting of this on my clients. Now I'm going to measure what I have here and reflect it on the back. I'm measuring from the front. I'll reflect it right on the back after rolling across my line, okay. I just extended that line so I will have a perfect straight line. So reflect the measurement to the back, okay. The reason why we do that is so that when you're joining the back and the front, one won't be longer than one, okay. So when you do that, you're going to see how beautiful your pant is going to be. It's not going to be looking shaky. It's just going to be there, all perfect. All right, so that's just it. Please subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe so you see more videos from me, and of course click the bell button. Okay, so at the crotch area, for the top part, I'm going to add 2 inches. So 2 inches is for our joining allowance. This is a pant, so the back part is usually bigger than the front. So I'm just going to connect that all the way. I'm freestyling it. If you have a curve, please go ahead, but please make sure that this part is not deep, okay. You see mine is not that deep, so make it just the way it is and you have it there. Extend it up, okay. Make sure you extend it up. All right, so that's what I'm doing here. Still that 2 inches upwards, and it's perfect. So now I'm going to connect the sides together. I'm going to connect right here so that it will align, because you see the upper part is longer than the front, the back is longer than the front. So when you connect it, or you can use a ruler, you see that you've aligned the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and of course trace the sides, the hip part and the lower part, and when I'm done with that, I'll cut it out and show us what it looks like. And that's it, guys. All right, so I'm just going to show you what I was talking about, so that when you join it, you see when you place it together, they are matching. Okay, that's why I measured this, what I have there, and reflected it at the back. And of course by the sides too, you can see what it looks like after cutting it, because I measured it, so it has to align. If not, when you're joining, one part of your pant will be longer. And of course, don't forget to fold in your seam allowance when cutting. I told you I forgot to do that when I was doing mine, but I'll reflect it on my fabric. Also do it at the back part of your pants. And that's it for our short. Stay tuned. I'm going to be moving over to cutting our pockets, show you what it looks like. Okay, so guys, we're going to be cutting our pockets. And to cut our pockets, I'm going to measure from on the waist area. I'll measure 7.5 or 7 inches. Okay, that's how wide it's going to be. And then I'll measure from the waist down. Okay, measure 11 inches or 11.5 inches. Okay, you can do 10 inches as well. It depends on how long you want your pocket to be. Then measure 9 inches. Okay, then connect all the lines together. Okay, from the 7-inch to the 9-inch line. Then from the 9-inch line, I'll connect it all the way to the 11.5-inch line. Okay, if you want your pocket smaller, go ahead and make a smaller pocket. All right, so I'm going to get my pocket opening, and I'll mark 7 inches. Okay, and then I'll mark here 2 inches, and then I'll connect the 2 lines. That's going to help me to get my pocket opening. If you have a curve or a ruler, please use it. I'm good at freestyling, so it doesn't really matter, in as much as our pants comes out perfect on our client. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and of course show us what it looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna head to cut out my front pattern for my pant, and this is what it looks like. Okay, and you see that part I was telling you about, I folded it in when cutting, and you can see what it looks like. You see it's matching up, there's no shortage anymore. So when you're doing yours, please reflect it to yours. Okay, you can see that this part is straight, but for the fabric is pointing out. Okay, that's what you get when you cut it, when you fold it in and cut it. So please don't forget to do yours when cutting. That's the right way to do it, or you have shortage when folding your seam allowance. Okay guys, so we're moving over to our pockets proper. All right, so I'm gonna head to cut out my pockets from my short. I'm not using this pattern anymore, so that's why I cut it out. But if you're still using your pattern for your client, please don't cut it. Okay, you can trace it out on another paper and cut it. Okay, but I'm not using it anymore, so I just had to cut out my pocket, and I'm going to be using this pocket to trace my fabric. Okay, you can see I was able to cut out my fabric. I cut out 2 pieces of that pocket. That's for each of the pockets, 2 pieces. Altogether we'll have 4 pieces, but I'm not going to be creating that shape on the 2 of them, because we need a pocket opening. Okay, so the pocket opening will be on just one of that piece, so I'm going to be creating it on one of the piece. Note that my fabrics are right sides facing each other. Note this is the back side and this is the front side. So I'm going to pick one of the pocket piece and recreate my pocket opening shape. Okay, so that when we place it on the other and stitch it up, you're going to see what it looks like. It's going to have a pocket opening. I'll place it on top so you can see what it actually looks like. All right guys, please, if you love our video, please subscribe, click the bell button so you get notifications. Okay, so I'm going to also recreate this on the front block of my pocket. Do this for the two sides of your front. Okay, we are creating that pocket opening, so that by the time we stitch everything up, that's going to be our pocket opening, and the other side where we didn't cut is going to be reflecting back. So just look at it, you see what it looks like. Are you seeing it? So when you sew it, this is what it's going to look like, and that's going to be our pocket opening. The front will be reflecting. That's the front part of the fabric. It will be reflecting. Isn't that beautiful? Go ahead and do this for the other part of your front block as well. All right, so I'm so excited. Now we're going to go over to our back. I'm just showing you what it looks like. I went ahead and cut it, and I also reflected back that seam allowance part. I folded it in, and you can see how it's aligning. So guys, that's the end of our video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, and of course click the bell button so you get notification anytime I post new videos. Thank you.